Hello everyone, you're watching Newcastle United Life and Times YouTube channel, and my name's Rob Britt, and today I'm joined by Paul and Len, and we're going to discuss Newcastle's up-and-coming fixture tomorrow night against Brentford, which is live on Sky Sports at 5:30. So, we've had the international break. Newcastle have been on the back end of 3 defeats. Big game tomorrow. Right, Paul, do you want to take it away on who you think the team will be and your thoughts and opinions on the game? Excuse me.
Yeah, I think to be honest, the break came at a good time for after the 3 defeats. It gives him a bit of time to work on what he wants to do next. I think tomorrow, I think with the team, I think there will be changes. What I can see coming in, I think Longstaff will start, definitely.
Yeah, I know.
Botman will be back in the team. And Harvey Barnes, I think, starting. Harvey Barnes will start.
So, Paul, just not to put in those, have you had this on good authority?
Well, that's just my thoughts, Len, on what the team will be. I think and Wilson will be coming in as well. I think it'll be Gordon, Wilson, and Barnes from 3, and I think Longstaff will come in for Tonali. I think that's what will happen, and I think we need to bounce back, don't we? And I think it's a good game for Brentford. We did well against them last season, and I think we'll go all out for it tomorrow. I think we'll get a win tomorrow, definitely.
Well, it's a game we can't afford to lose.
No, definitely not. Especially a home game.
Len?
Well, I've just sat through 28 and a half minutes of Eddie Howe prior to coming on here, and I'll be honest with you, it's the first time I watched the full press conference, and you just love listening to him. He doesn't give a lot away, but it's quite clear that his focus is 100% on winning tomorrow. He has no thoughts on Europe. He has no thoughts on anything. The players are basically being spoken to about this one match that we must win. We will win, but we must win, because there's no point in us going into this game on Tuesday night without anything other than 3 points. Now, as far as the team's concerned, I would disagree with you, Paul, unless you do have some inside information, because I don't know the last time Eddie Howe made 3 or 4 changes. And I understand, that's what we might want to see.
I think a lot of the changes have to do with the internationals as well, then. I think.
Yeah, but you still think, well, obviously you've got it on high authority, but I think you might make 1 or 2 changes. Are we going to assume Botman's fit? Well, judging by the press conference,
trained all week.
He's trained all week, and he will play. There's a big debate at my workplace with regards to Miggy. Should Miggy be dropped and bring Murphy in? I don't think that'll happen. I wouldn't go as far as to say he's going to make 3 or 4 changes, but I would think there's going to be a change in midfield. I think we spoke about it last time, that Longstaff needs to be in the team. For me, it's just a case of who drops out. I suspect it'll be Tonali that drops out and Longstaff in, and I think that'll be the only change. That's my opinion. But Paul, I'll probably be proved wrong when the team sheet comes out at 4:30 tomorrow.
Well, I think with Tonali's situation, it's helped Eddie Howe a little bit because he's had an injury, hasn't he? And I think he's not 100%. So I don't think in a game like this, if you're not 100%, don't play him. Just keep it for Tuesday night.
It's an interesting point, Paul, because it does actually, because of the international break and as you say, players coming back, it does give him the opportunity to make 3 or 4 changes, which is unusual for him, but it does give him the opportunity of doing that and having genuine reasons for doing it. And that could apply to any one of the 3 in the middle. It could apply to almost any of the players, really, because they've all been, there's been a number of them, 6 or 7, that have been involved in the international break. So it would give him an opportunity to do it without sort of having to give other reasons, shall we say. But he did say in the press conference today, because he was asked a question about loyalty. Is he too loyal to players? He says he's not. And if players don't perform, then they won't be in the team. So I'd like to see changes, but I'm a bit concerned if he makes 3 or 4 changes would that upset the rhythm that we generally have? Because we have played well in 3 out of the 4 games so far this season. So I'll be concerned that if he did make too many changes and didn't get the correct result, it puts us under massive pressure going into next week.
Very good, very good. I think he will start Longstaff, and I think he will drop Tonali. It's all a guessing game at the moment, but unless you're Paul, who's in the know. But the likes of me and Len, it's a guessing game. But I tend to guess he'll start with he'll drop Tonali, start with Longstaff, and I think it'll be pretty much an unchanged team from the other week, with Longstaff in and Tonali out.
I just think we need more energy in there. The last performance was just so devoid of energy or effort. Or he's got, as long as we give everything tomorrow, we've got to see an improvement. Because the Brighton game wasn't acceptable for me. It was something like the Steve Bruce side. It wasn't an Eddie Howe side playing in that game. I think Eddie Howe, I don't think he'd be bothered if we got beat. It was just the manner the defeat. We all said that, didn't we? We've just got to go out tomorrow and give it. I think if we're anywhere near our top form tomorrow, I think we'll smash them.
I do, and I think you've got to look at the team they're playing there without their best player, who's not played so far this season. And it might end up with egg on me face, but Brentford aren't as good. Well, they're the poorest opposition we've had so far this season. They're not as good as Liverpool, Man City, Aston Villa, or Brighton. So I think, Paul, you're right. If we can be, we don't have to be 100%. I think if we can give it 80, 90% of what we are capable of in the final third of the pitch, then I agree with you. I think it's a reasonably comfortable win. I haven't said that they are unbeaten in this season so far. They've had 1 win and 3 draws, I think, in the league. So and they do create a lot of opportunities. So we've got to press from the first minute, because they do create chances. So if they put pressure on our back line, then the chances are we'll have a difficult day. But if we start off like we can do in the first 20 minutes, then I suspect we'll win by a couple of goals tomorrow.
I think you'd rather play a Brentford, though, wouldn't you? Teams that come on you. We seem to struggle against teams that sit back, and you've got to break them down. If they come at us, we'll just break on them and pick them off. And I don't think their defence is the best, to be honest with you.
Well, hopefully.
And if he plays them two tomorrow, if he plays Gordon and Barnes, I think there'll be a few crosses going in for Wilson. We'll see a lot more crosses tomorrow.
Do you know what you said about Gordon and about Barnes coming in? Who's Barnes coming in for?
Miggy.
They put him on the right.
That's what I would like to see, because I think Barnes has got goals in him. I'll probably say this every single time we talk. Barnes has got goals in him, Miggy hasn't. He did have that great spell and it was outstanding, but he doesn't have goals in him, and he's probably costing us. I haven't said that. He was great against Liverpool. He hit the woodwork twice and was our best attacker.
He'll keep Miggy for Tuesday night. I think you'll need that energy in Milan, won't you? But that's for another.
But then and you can still bring him off the bench. I mean, Miggy, what better impact sub could you have than Miggy, who just run and run and run, in the last 30 minutes. We've got a great opportunity here in the next few games to make these changes. And I think we've got the energy. Paul, you mentioned about energy. I think we've got Paul. I think we've got energy coming, starting, but also 2 or 3 players that come off the bench and can keep things going in that last 30 minutes, which is what Eddie Howe tends to do.
Well, if you've got Isak coming on as well, imagine Isak coming on.
Oh yeah, because he's not starting. He's not starting in your 11, is he?
Well, I would start him in my 11, but I don't think he will tomorrow. I think he'll keep him for Milan as well.
Have you been on Eddie Howe today or what?
It's just what I believe. I may be wrong, but
have you been speaking to people on your delivery?
No.
You haven't been talking to your friend on there. What, McKenton Lane, by any chance, eh?
No, I never get information off people. It's all up there, Roberto. It's all up there with me, son.
All right, then. I believe you, son. I believe you. So, listen, I mean, if we can get the 3 points tomorrow, it'll be absolutely great, because it'll set Tuesday's game up over in Italy. We don't want to go over there on the back of a poor performance, do we, really? So I think it's a massive game tomorrow. I think there's a lot of pressure. I think
another thing you can just see it bubbling away under the surface at the minute. The national press are just waiting. They're just waiting on there for these results for Eddie Howe, and they'll be straight onto it Because they were doing well, can they? The national.
Yeah,
press.
there was some headline I read. I didn't even bother clicking on it to read the article. It was something online. You know how long it was, almost alluding to the fact how long till Eddie Howe gets the sack, and you're thinking, Jesus, how
crazy.
I think he's got the full backing of the club. There's no doubt about it. You know, we're not silly enough to think that he's going to be in that job for many, many years. I hope he is. Every good manager gets sacked somewhere along the line, but certainly, you know, the way we've started the season, we've had one bad game, and the media are absolutely loving it because they're just looking at the results. But as Eddie Howe said in his press conference, we've actually had probably, you know, he says the Liverpool game in the first half was probably as good as what we played in his time at the club, and we've just had one bad game against Brighton. But again, he was pleased with the way that we ended up in that game. You know, we played quite well towards the end, and we've got a consolation goal. So you've got to take all the positives into the next couple of games. And I would love nothing better than a victory tomorrow and a positive result on Tuesday night.
We've had the toughest start out of any Premier League side. The fixtures, when they came out, you thought, well, that's a bit of a difficult start. And we've only got 1 point less from the previous fixtures from last season. So I don't know what all the hoo-ha is about.
We'll be fine. We will. You know, I'm confident we'll be absolutely fine. I think what is important tomorrow, that I think we will create chances, and we've got to take the chances. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to see a game where we'll create a lot of chances and then we just squander them. Because when that happens, you know what the outcome's going to be, don't you?
And that's the ideal. Sorry,
no, I was just saying that's maybe, you know, the criticism you have of Almiron. You know, he is getting close to scoring, but you just think if you've got Harvey Barnes in those positions like we saw in pre-season, I think Harvey Barnes scored a couple of similar goals in one of the pre-seasons at St. James's. You know, he just gets the ball and he pretty much just passes it past the keeper. He's got that composure that Miggy doesn't have, and I think that's maybe why, you know, I think ultimately if it's not tomorrow, maybe the next game, this is where Miggy's going to get pushed out a bit, because as you say, Rob, if we create chances, if Miggy's getting those chances, he'll probably not score them, whereas Harvey Barnes would.
Harvey Barnes is a good finisher, like.
Very good.
So the all-important question there, we'll start with you first, Paul. What's your score prediction for tomorrow?
For tomorrow, I think we'll beat them 3-1.
3-1. Are we taking any goal scorers?
I'm
I'll write this down. I'll write this down. Oh, it's not a trick question, you know.
I was waiting for you. I was waiting for you to get a pen or a quill in your case.
I've got one, yeah.
I thought you had a quill. I was going to say, I think Barnes will score, and I think Wilson will get 2. That's how confident I am they're playing.
Okay, very good. Len?
Well, I'm going to have to agree with Paul. I was going to go for 2-1, but I thought that's probably what Rob's going to come up with. So we'll leave it that.
Yeah, 2-1 again.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I've had to go for 3-1. As far as goal scorer is concerned, obviously Big Dan Burn will get a goal from a set piece, and I'm not too sure. I think Bruno will get a goal because I think he needs the fans back on his side really, and I think Wilson, in my way of thinking, he'll come off the bench and score the 3rd goal.
Right, okay. I'm going to go 2-0.
Whoa!
He did have 2-1.
He's changed that.
I'm going to go 2-0, and I'm going to go for Isak.
Isak off the bench?
And Wilson. I'll just write that down. 2-0, Isak and Wilson.
We might have to start putting some cash on this, depending on how it goes.
Listen, at the end of the day, I couldn't care who scores as long as we get the 3 points tomorrow. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, we definitely need to bounce back. Like, just a good performance as well to see we're through to Tuesday night. Flying off to Milan, I just think it'll give everyone a little lift. And it's 35 days. I assume since we last had one of them team photographs where they're celebrating after the victory.
35 days. Are you the new stat man?
I know. What
35 days, I think.
you think?
Well,
Hey, can I just say something just before I forget here? Rob, did you want to ask me about the Great North Run by any chance?
Yes, I did, Len. First of all, I meant to do it at the start of the show. Congratulations on completing the Great North Run. I
yes, well
understand
done.
you done it 7 minutes quicker than you did last year. Is that right?
It was actually 6, Rob, but I'll take the 7. You know, I think 7's probably.
I thought you won
probably...
it last year. Did you not win it last year, then?
No, that was somebody else. Hey, but
Oh.
here's a quick bit. I did get a high five. I haven't told you this, Paul, but I did tell Rob on one of our recent conversations. I did high five Eddie Howe at the beginning. So I've touched Eddie Howe. In fact, it was this hand, still not washed. And even more importantly, it's a bit of a Sunderland connection here. Sunderland, do you remember them? Well, Kevin Phillips did the Great North Run for the first time. He said it's one of the hardest things he's done in his career. And I did it 5 minutes faster than Kevin Phillips. Now, if you'd said to me 20 years ago, I would be in a race with Kevin Phillips and beat him, I wouldn't have believed it. So there you are. So I'm faster than Kevin Phillips. Faster than Kevin Phillips. And he was a great player, actually. I know he played for the wrong team, but he was a great striker. So there you are, Rob. That's it. Can't wait for next year. Rob, you said you're going to do it next year, didn't you, the Great North Run?
I'll walk it. I couldn't run it.
Paul,
Rob, you couldn't even walk it.
I think I would struggle to walk it, Paul, if I'm being honest with you. I really would.
I'll be honest, you would struggle, yeah. I'll be honest.
Well, actually, for your benefit, Rob, what they do is when you get towards the end, they've got they give you half pints of beer, because I know you like a drink.
Don't tell them that.
Now, I didn't take advantage of me first year, but this year I did have a quick swig. I don't know what it was, but it was good. It got us over that line.
Hey, listen, I take my hat off to anyone that does it. You know, I mean, a lot of people do. They raise a lot of money for charity doing it, and what saying they've all got like personal reasons for doing it, and hats off to you all. You know, hats off.
I've run it 5 times. It was a while ago, like the last one. Yeah.
Oh, go on, give us a time. Give us your best time. You would have been young then, though.
1:26.
Nick off. Really? How many years ago was that, Paul? How old were you?
I was going to say, that must have been a long time ago.
Year, man.
Bollocks.
That was last year.
Bollocks.
You didn't do 1:26, man.
I did.
Are you sure it was a Great North Run?
No, it wasn't last year. It was a while ago. You know,
hold on a minute.
I think it was quite warm that year.
No, when you done it in 1 hour 26, that's when the overtime sheets were in South Shields. Come on.
It was, and I booked it. I booked it on the back of it,
Aye. I get it. So anyway, right. So hopefully 3 points tomorrow, and well, I don't want to get touched too much on Tuesday night because I was up for doing a match reaction show on Monday, and we'll just touch on Tuesday on Monday.
That sounds good.
Do you not want to do it Sunday, the reaction?
I'm easy.
We'll be doing the preview show for Milan on the Monday, won't we?
But he said combine the two.
Well, I was going to just combine the two. Well, we'll do it on Sunday if you want. I mean, I don't know what plans you've got. Are you free or what? Or?
No, we'll do it Sunday about 3 o'clock. See, it would be good for me because I know we like to sit down for the big match at 4:30.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Right.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that.
Right. We'll make it a day for Sunday, and hopefully, we'll run our hands with a fantastic result. You know.
Hopefully. Can we just mention Callum Wilson's 1-year extension as well? I think that's a good deal for the club and for him. I think.
Yeah, very good.
You know, his goal scoring record for Newcastle is fantastic.
It is. It's really good.
Eddie Howe did get asked a question about why, you know, him not being in the team, whatever, and he basically admitted obviously Wilson's really sort of upset about not being in the team, and that's a good thing because he's got his own personal motivation to get in the team and score the goals. But I mean, it's a goal every other game. When he plays, he tends to score. So it's a shame that he hasn't been playing more because, you know, in any other era of Newcastle United, he would be playing every week. He does have his injury problems, but he would be, you know, assuming he wasn't injured, he'd be playing every week and he'd be banging in 20-odd goals a season.
He's got a goal nearly every 2 games, hasn't he, for Newcastle?
He has. You know, and even if you just look at the stats, he's as good as we've probably had. And his attitude seems to be spot on. So it's great that he has signed that extension because I think even when he's finished playing, I think he's somebody I've heard about anyway that might stick around the club. and go into coaching, whether it's at Newcastle United or somewhere else. Because I think as a striker coach, he's got all the attributes to bring on the younger players.
It's not just players though, and they need like leaders in the dressing room as well,
Yeah.
don't they? You just see it. Even when you're bringing all these young lads in, you need players like Wilson and Byrne around them, don't you?
Yeah.
Falcon Shaw, he'll be getting did he sign a new deal, didn't he? Did he get a year contract?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
So I think it's good, all these players that are coming to the end of their deals, to give them another season. I think it's a no-brainer, really.
Well, even the likes of
just
Matt Ritchie. Matt Ritchie's another example. You know, they reckon people criticise when he gets an extension on his contract, but he's one helping as you say, the younger players coming through. What better to have but a player with his experience?
Yeah.
So it's all good, I think.
Right, folks, if you've enjoyed us three thoughts waffling on for 25 minutes, half an hour or so, don't forget to like and subscribe the channel. It's much appreciated and it doesn't cost you nothing. So we'll be back on Sunday. So on behalf of myself, Paul and Len, have a good weekend, everyone, and hopefully 3 points for the tune tomorrow, and we'll see you all on Sunday. See you later. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Cheers.